CBS News Special Report. I'm Jerika Duncan in New York. We are coming on the air tonight to report yet another mass shooting in this country. At least 2 people have been shot and killed at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. That is according to the city's mayor, Brett Smiley, who also says 8 people are in critical but stable condition. The shooter is still at large. The mass shooting happened earlier this afternoon on campus.
We are following another deadly mass shooting, this one in Australia, where police say 2 gunmen opened fire on Sydney's famous Bondi Beach, killing at least 11 people. One of the suspects also is dead. Another is in custody. NBC's Raf Sanchez is following the latest developments for us. Raf, what more can you tell us?
Well, Willie, Australian authorities are calling this a terrorist attack targeting the Jewish community as it was celebrating the first night of Hanukkah. Here's what we know. As you said, 2 gunmen opened fire with long guns. There are at least 11 people killed, including one of the shooters. The second gunman is in custody in critical condition, and authorities are now investigating whether a third individual was potentially involved. Now, amid the horror, there was also heroism. There is a video that is a little difficult to watch, but I want to show it to you in just a second here. You see, if we have that video, you see the man in white there running up and tackling that suspected gunman. There is a struggle, and you can see he appears to wrestle what looks like a shotgun out of that man's hands. Now, the individual in white has not at this point been identified, but local leaders are hailing what they say were extraordinary acts of personal courage by people who just jumped in at the scene. It is very likely that that man saved some lives by appearing to disarm that gunman. We know that at least 29 people were taken to hospital. Among them are 2 police officers. Authorities are saying police were on the scene and engaging in a gun battle with these shooters within just minutes.
Among those who've been killed, just a 10-year-old girl, a little girl. There were young families at this, and this is where it happened, just behind me, as you can see. We are heartbroken. We are devastated. I personally, as a Jewish Australian, on my nightly Sky News Australia program, have been begging the Australian Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, and his government to take action on anti-Semitism for 2 years now. They have refused to take this issue seriously, and it has culminated in this unfathomable event, an unfathomable tragedy.
Australia is obviously already talking about guns, but they should consider that whether it's guns, pressure cooker bombs, or cars, we have seen plenty of car attacks in Europe, actually here in the United States. What they're sharing in common here is Islamic, militant Islamism.
You can go to the news and find out what happened on the news, but it's very important to have prophetic insight. Right. And spiritual insight into what's going on. That is key to the overcoming of this enemy. But we have a news clip to play. Netanyahu warning America. So let's play that and we'll come back.
On August 17th, about 4 months ago, I sent Prime Minister Albanese of Australia a letter in which I gave him warning that the Australian government's policy was promoting and encouraging anti-Semitism in Australia. I wrote, "Your call for a Palestinian state pours fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorism. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred now stalking your streets. Anti-Semitism is a cancer. It spreads when leaders stay silent. It retreats when leaders act. I call upon you to replace weakness with action, appeasement with resolve. Instead, Prime Minister, you replaced weakness with weakness and appeasement with more appeasement. Your government did nothing to stop the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia. You did nothing to curb the cancer cells that were growing inside your country. You took no action. You let the disease spread. And the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today. We saw an action of a brave man, turns out a Muslim brave man, and I salute him, that stopped one of these terrorists from killing innocent Jews. But it requires the action of your government, which you're not taking. And you have to, because history will not forgive hesitation and weakness. It will honor action and strength. That's what Israel expects of each of your governments in the West and elsewhere, because the disease spreads and it will consume you as well. But we are worrying right now about our people, our safety, and we do not remain silent. We fight those who try to annihilate us. They're not only trying to annihilate us, they attack us because they attack the West. In Syria, we saw yesterday 2 American soldiers killed and 1 American interpreter killed as well. Killed because they represent our common culture. Now, as a result of this, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said the following. He said, "Let it be known that if you target Americans anywhere in the world, you will spend the rest of your brief, anxious life knowing the United States will hunt you, find you, and ruthlessly kill you." We send our condolences to the people of America. And I want to say that our policy is exactly that policy. That's why those who target Israelis, target our soldiers, try to kill them or try to hurt them and wound them, as happened in Gaza yesterday, we take action. They will spend the rest of their brief, anxious lives knowing that Israel will hunt them, find them, and ruthlessly dispose of them. That is American policy. This is Israel's policy. It's our policy in Gaza, in Lebanon, anywhere around us. We do not sit by and let these killers kill us.
That's exactly how you're supposed to deal with that. Go Netanyahu. That is how you deal with this kind of problem. Right. I'm sorry, you guys. I actually said that he was giving a warning to America. I meant to say Australia.
But he also spoke to America too, though.
He did, yes, because we did have those the soldiers that were killed in Syria just this past week as well. So this has been a rough week, Charlie. I think also we saw the vicious slaughter of Rob Reiner and his wife by his own son, by their own son, as well as another. There was an opera singer. I've forgotten his name now, but he was also this past weekend murdered by his own son. And both of those murders, by the way, were done with knives. And so the gun people really need to catch a wake up and realize that it's not the guns. There's a problem in people. There are ideologies that are very dangerous, and they're too afraid to say anything. And so I was very appreciative of Benjamin Netanyahu, what he just said, because he's exactly right.
You remember what your dad said?
If you stay silent. What?
You remember what he said when we were in Israel?
Which thing?
He said, Netanyahu, you are the one that God has chosen to speak. He said that Netanyahu was not just a prime minister, but he's a prophet. And he also said that the president that we have is not just a president, but he's a prophet. Both of these men, God prophesied through your dad, my mentor, Prophet Kim Clement, about the things that are happening right now. And I'm telling you right now, guys, I'm encouraged. That's why I had a smile on my face. Yes, this is disturbing and it's sad, and I've been praying for them. But guys, just like your dad always used to tell me, Charlie, we have to see tomorrow. You got to be in tomorrow, because that's where God is, and that's where he wants us to be. Why? Because that's where his kingdom is. It's righteousness, peace, and joy. And so remember that illustration he used to give? A church was doing very well, and everybody was so excited, and the prophet was on this front row. He was sad. He said, man, what's wrong with you? He said, well, I'm seeing 6 months down the way, and this church is going to be split up. It's going to be, some bad things are going to happen. And sure enough, that happened. And then now the pastor is up trying to reconcile and trying to get things together after everything that the prophet prophesied took place. Now he looks on the front row, and that's the prophet having a party on the front row. He said, now what are you doing? He said, because I'm 6 months down the road, I'm seeing restoration taking place, and this church is going to be at a higher position than what it was yesterday. That's the attitude that we have to be. We have to see tomorrow.